Welcome to the bold analysis. The moment we saw Oscar Sudi hitting Rigathi Gachagua over the latest Mount Kenya, don't meddle with Mount Kenya politics narrative, I knew that Rigathi Gachagua had to go back to drawing board. But the latest development I'm going to share in this podcast will actually try to paint for you the real picture. And I will explain why it has become very difficult, or William Ruto has blocked Mount Kenya MPs that maybe to consolidate around Rigathi, and also very importantly, what has become difficult for those same MPs to consolidate around the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. But before I explain that, I would want to ask you a question. And I want us to imagine, if the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is not picked as the running mate in 2027, then where do you think he should go? Explain for me. In any case, he's not picked. What will be his reaction? I just want to read that carefully, because I have another video I'm going to share. I'm going to do on this, and I want to pick your feedback. What you think will be the fate of Rigathi if he's not picked as the running mate? So I want to give you a second and tell me what are the options for Rigathi. And say, because Rigathi's handlers are listening to this podcast, they do listen, so they will really give them some very good advice. There is a report that has emerged that Rigathi Gachagua tried to issue, or rather tried to bring together more than 50 MPs from the larger Mount Kenya region for a dawn meeting. But insiders are leaking out how that meeting never happened. And out of 50 MPs that were invited, only 10 turned up for that meeting. And I want to share it with you. But first, I think I captured, for those who may have missed it, this is what Oscar Sudi said. And he actually did some statement, he made some statement against Rigathi, but Hilary Barchok, the Bomet governor, has come out to call him out.
Wewe ukiwa kiongozi huko juu, kuwa kiongozi wa kushikanisha viongozi, kuwa kiongozi wa kunacha viongozi wadogo. Usiwe kiongozi ukiona mtu anataka kutokea pale unataka kuongea kitu. Hapana. Sisi wote tukiomba kura hii ya Kenya Kwanza, tulizunguka tukiwa timu kubwa, tukianzia akina Waiguru, akina Ndindi Nyoro, akina Ishungwa, akina Moses Kuria, watu wengi. Lakini leo tuko na viongozi wawili wanatuongoza. Tuko na William Ruto na Rigathi Gachagua. Hii maneno mengine ya fitina hii tunaona hapa, sijui nani anafanya nini. Na William Ruto, hakuna mtu anabebea William Ruto akili. William Ruto ako na akili yake. Hakuna siku Sudi anazarubia William Ruto akili. Tafadhali tuheshimiane na tufanye kazi. Na tuwache kuunganisha wananchi. Na tuwache kuunganisha watu na ukabila. Hii maneno ya ukabila sijui tutafanya nini. Kuna watu kutoka kwa ukabila, jioni wamerudi kwa ukabila. Sasa unaona mtu anazunguka anasema hajataka kwa kipi kwa Kenya. Na akifika hapa nyumbani, Kenya wanao. Rigathi ndio. Sijui ingira nao. Sasa hata wanaambia hapa. Hapo kitu mlaye kule Kenya, Rigathi ndio. Angia mama mingi hata wataweke hizo kwa wale. La wote hizo kwa kama.
For the last few weeks, nimeona vile viongozi wanaongea. Na ningependa kusema ya kwamba hatuna kambi. And if you were to ask me, ile kambi ambayo ninasimama ni ile kambi ya president na deputy yake. Kwa sababu hiyo ndio the heads ya serikali yetu. President akiongoza, akisaidiwa na deputy president Rigathi. Na ningependa wauliza viongozi wetu, lazima tupeane heshima kwa viongozi wetu. Heshima ya deputy president ni heshima ya president. When you disrespect the deputy president, you are also disrespecting the president. Na ningependa kuongea sana na watu wa Rift Valley, hasa wa Kalenjin. Wakikuyu walisimama na sisi. Rigathi alisimama na sisi. na lazima tupe yeye heshima. Jana ama juzi niliona moja akichibishana na Rikiji. Yeye ni mzazi wetu, so heshimu. Kama kuna jambo ambalo amenena, because we are human beings, kuna vitu tutakubali, kuna zingine hatutaki. Please, there is a respectable way to address your mambo, lakini sio kusimama kwa jukwaa na uchipishane na yeye. Hatutaruhusu. In fact, we should be the last people, especially those of us from Rift Valley, kufuruka serikali yetu, bearing in mind that the one who is in leadership, president, is coming from this community. Haipo kwapo. And we want to tell ourselves, kama Kalenjin, kama watu wa Rift Valley, and we have everybody in this Rift Valley. This is a cosmopolitan area. Please, tusitoe maneno ambayo inaweza chochea watu. Kabisa, kabisa. You should be the last person. And shame on you, especially those of us from this community.
So, it is for that video, it is for that Oscar Sudi statement that I think pushed Rigathi for another alternative. Now, there is a Nation article that was done here, and I think it came, not even Nation, I think this is the Star, and they say, a political linchpin got the shock on his life after influential politicians he invited to a meeting at his residence failed to show up. The bigwig had sent out messages through his assistant inviting selected politicians from his backyard for a dawn meeting. However, out of the 50 invited, only 10 turned up. The turn of events left the big man wondering how fast his influence was plummeting at a time he needed the support. Honchos, aware of the development, alleged the no-show was engineered by a call from higher powers that threatened sanctions against those who would defy the directive and attend session. It looks like that man has been humbled and could beat a retreat. That is the statement. Without much ado, this is only Rigathi Gachagua. Is the man, all the boxes are ticked, is the man under radar of the state, is the man that is currently embattled. In hierarchy of power, he becomes second to any other person. And again, if you look at Musalia Mudavadi, he does not have 50 MPs that he can control under his party. If you look at the same with Moses Wetangula, then the only person can be Raila Odinga, who is not in the country. So if you take all those boxes, you will understand why we narrowed this on the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua. So these are Mount Kenya MPs. I realized over the weekend, when Rigathi was in Uasin Gishu, he tried to bring together some MPs, and you could see them, and even in Uasin Gishu, he brought a few. I would want to compare. When Rigathi was in Uasin Gishu, he was only able to bring Ketwa Ruguru, who is a former MP, the woman rep from Kirinyaga, I've forgotten the name, Gakuya, Mejadong, and few MPs there. Less than 10 MPs were with Rigathi in Uasin Gishu. But the same day, there is this poster. This is an event that Oscar Sudi was holding somewhere still in Rift Valley. I think that was Elgeyo Marakwet. And you can see the way he brought in many MPs, both from Rift Valley and some from Western, even though I think the Natembe did not attend. So you could see the power struggle going on. People are struggling to prove a point. Now, the two strategies that, according to me, Rigathi employed to counter the Oscar Sudi. The first one, he wanted to get Kikuyu leaders that will come out and rebuttal Sudi. And that will go back to one thing I kept on saying. I kept on advising Rigathi that stop this proxy war with Sudi and get the young other politicians that are in his caliber to respond to him so that you can play the President Ruto's league. And I think that is one thing that that meeting was supposed to achieve. The second objective that Rigathi's meeting was supposed to achieve, that UDA MPs from the mountain would push an underdevelopment narrative in their constituencies as they try to push the one man, one shilling, one vote. Remember, at this context, Rigathi had also threatened that he wanted to oppose the finance bill by influencing his camp in UDA to oppose the finance bill, and that will be one of the strategies to checkmate William Ruto and maybe try to test his strength, how much he can control or what he controls from that. And those are two strategies. So I want to believe those will be the three objectives of that meeting. But of importance to us, and I want us to look at it, is why Rigathi has failed to consolidate the Mount Kenya around him. Because as that editor is saying, this is the moment that Rigathi Gachagua will need Mount Kenya most. I really understand that. This is the time you need them most. But what has made it very important, very difficult for him to achieve that? I want to explain that in this video, but I want to humbly request you to subscribe to our channel, and also want to say thank you very much for supporting the charity program we were doing of supporting some families in Mukuru kwa Ruben. I was there yesterday. We were able to give them the cash. They're now moving. They moved to houses. And I want to believe that all that really went a big success. And I'm going to share, watch to the end, because at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you a video on what exactly transpired there when I went to send the money. Now, there's some four factors, the odds that are playing against Rigathi. Number one, Ruto's financial incentives to Mount Kenya MPs have really moved them away from Rigathi Gachagua. And you will understand, you will see the way things are going against him. I want you to look at this story. This is Mwangi Kiunjuri. Mwangi Kiunjuri saying Rigathi is the making of his own downfall. I personally, I think, I saw that story and I was like, yeah, that's what I've been saying. Yeah, I've always been believing Rigathi is his own downfall, because he created so many enemies that no one can even now help him, and except Raila Odinga baby. So, why is this? Look at Mwangi Kiunjuri going to an event, a church fundraiser, and donating money that has given to him by President Ruto. Haya, look at Ndindi Nyoro, who is attending events from Thursday to Sunday and donating millions. When he's going to attend some empowerment program with MPs, he's donating $1 million. Attending a church fundraiser, donating $1 million. And you look at that and you see how they are getting financial aid. In fact, that money that President Ruto used to give during campaigns, it has now been given to some MPs to checkmate Rigathi. Someone just the other day was reminding me, one of my cameramen here was telling me that, Kevin, do you know that when Rigathi is going to attend an event in Embu or in Mount Kenya, he doesn't carry donation from the president. But over the weekend when he was in Uasin Gishu, he's carrying a donation from the president. A good example is recently, I think that was earlier this month, Ndindi Nyoro was in Murang'a. And while in Murang'a, an event that had been organized by Rigathi Gachagua office, he went there and gave a donation of 1 million from President Ruto. Now, what Ruto realized is money is everything. And when you have money, you can tick all the boxes. So what he's been doing, he's been trapping these UDA MPs. Quite a number of these UDA MPs from Mount Kenya understand this politics of tokenism. You are supposed to attend a fundraiser. You also want to get some bonga points, but you don't want to use your money. So you ask the president, I'm going, there is this event I'm going, I want to go and speak well about you, so just give me the money. So Ruto is not going to Mount Kenya in person. But these MPs are getting incentives. An MP is being told that I'm going to fly to US. So you will get an invite to fly with the president to US, fly with the president to Rwanda. And through these outings, you are also getting some very heavy and fat per diem from State House. Through this, people are just sacrificing the big reasoning. And that is why it will be very difficult for Rigathi Gachagua to consolidate the mountain around him. It's a tall order for him. Then the second strategy, and one other thing odd that is working against Rigathi, is that he lacks ministries under his control. I want to say this. When Rigathi comes out in public and say that Ruto is a good man, hatukuandikana mahali, and he gave it in. You know the blunder with that is that Ruto picked his cabinet himself. Yes, he would employ that logic of getting many from Mount Kenya, getting some from maybe other parties. I want to believe in that cabinet. Apart from Nahumisha and maybe one or two PSS that might have been picked under the direction and the request of Ford Kenya Party leader Wetangula and Mudavadi, if there is a person that have little influence in that cabinet is Rigathi Gachagua. And why is this working against him? What it means is that all the tenders, because how MPs benefit individually from government also, apart from that CDF money, where are they getting those millions? For example, Millicent Omanga recently got a tender of, recently, not even Millicent Omanga, let's start with Sudi. This Sudi is got a tender in Nairobi to collect garbage. Millicent Omanga the other day was buying a machine worth 20 million. Where's she getting that money? It's from the tenders. Now, when Rigathi doesn't have cabinet under him, that means he's been locked out of these tenders. So even to an MP, you try to outweigh. If I go to align with Rigathi, which ministry can I get any tender? Where can I benefit? Then you will realize that they can be locked out. So there are those who fear that if I align with Rigathi, I'm not going to get tender X or tender Y. And that is one of the angles, that is one of the odds that working against Rigathi. And it makes me remember that if you are having a power sharing deal, there should be no gentleman agreement in politics. Number 3, there is lack of clarity on next step. So, today Rigathi invites us to Karen. We are supposed to meet. But then that meeting, I am not seeing what next. Where are we going after this meeting? There is no clarity on what Rigathi Gachagua intends to achieve, even by him walking away from that. So I know that MPs fear that will be asked to rebel. But to what next? What next? Why? He doesn't have a political party. He is a member of UDA. Are we willing to have a UDA silly, a new party? How are we going to work? Rigathi doesn't have a roadmap of exit. He doesn't have any exit, by the way. Cannot. No one can resign. So because of the lack of clarity, people are also feeling, oh, I cannot make that risk. Lastly, Rigathi is now pushing a forgiveness narrative with Uhuru. Let me tell you, the only person that wants to forgive Uhuru and Kenyatta family is Rigathi. And selfishly, he's doing it because it has become difficult to consolidate Mount Kenya around him. I remember in 2022, immediately after inauguration, Rigathi gave Jubilee MPs in the mountain until end of December for them to move so that they leave Uhuru Kenyatta's party and join the UDA. Now, by that time, there was no talk of I want to work, reconcile with Uhuru. Now, after he tried that, then he tried the issues of coffee, he tried the other things, and I think he was given coffee reforms, but the president was actually pulling a negative card around it, making sure that it's not a success. So now, when now things start becoming bad, he goes looking for Uhuru Kenyatta. But in real sense, these MPs understand that William Ruto wants to push an enmity with Uhuru. So what they know is they want to ride in 2027 on Uhuru enmity. There are people that will still think along that line. And that is why I understand in my own thinking that Rigathi is finding it rough. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. But leave you the video of the Mukuru mission.
Hello guys, so as I promised you guys that we will be supporting these families. I'm already at Mukuru Kwayaba, factual and southern name, and this is the nearest primary school around this place because we do not go for kids and because of promotion. When we go there, then maybe things will turn very chaotic. So these are the families. Already 9 we are waiting for Mzee who is on the way. Yeah, so thank you. This is the families we want to support, and I also want to urge this that it doesn't end here. The need is still big. There are also still infants, and you can still get to me. I will still be able to link you up with 1 or 2 families. But even if you want to support more, yeah, but we needed also to do our part as involved, and I just want to thank you for having done this. Asante sana, mbarikiwe.
Okay.
Wengine watatu hata mpige tu. Pige tu. Mzee.
Mama tu hapo. Mama hapo. Ya huko.
Okay, habari zenu tena. Jinsi nilisema mimi naitwa Kikuyu, mkaaji wa Landimame, Kayaba, Mukuru. Kwanza ninachukua hii fursa kusema asante sana kwa wenye wamekuja kutusaidia. Kwa hivi sasa nyumba tulishapata, ni ile hela ya kulipa hiyo nyumba ndio hatukuwa nayo. Lakini kwa uwezo wa Mwenyezi Mungu, Mungu ametenda. Pesa ndio hizi tumepata na tunaenda kulipa hizo nyumba zetu. Hatutalala tena kwa baridi. Naye muendelee na kusaidia watu wengine, isiwe ni sisi peke yetu, sababu watu wameathirika pale wengi bado wanalala kwa hiyo kiwanja mahali tulikuwa tunalala. Tunashukuru sana, Mungu awabariki.
Before tuende kwa wengine, I want to add one here. There are people, and guys, there are people that normally they are not sensing in the picture. Anne is one person that has been coordinating this. She's behind this, and I just want us to one word and thank you very much. Asante sana for having been behind this, for working in the community. You are a warrior, and I know that you are amongst people that normally are not celebrated, but we thank God that even team. But we also need to celebrate Anne because Anne is also another person behind the concession.
Thank you. I am Anne Kanini, a community representative in Mukuru Nyayo location. Kazi yangu ni kusaidia watu wale ambao wanapata shida tofauti, hasa katika huu mkasa wa floods. Katika ile hali I was able to identify watu ambao wamekosa makazi, na ninashukuru the board team for coming through kuweza kusaidia hizi jamaa. Ukiangalia hapa George ni mzee ambaye ni mzee sana, na kuna hapa Dani ni mzee sana. Wakikaa nje kwangu ilikuwa inaumiza moyo kwa sababu nyumba yangu pia ni ndogo, haiwezi watosha. And for the people who have come through to support these people, may God bless you for doing something which is good, ambayo itazuia wasipate magonjwa, kukaa kwa baridi kunaleta magonjwa, na hata ile insecurity, they can be harmed. Kwa hivyo God bless you and continue doing the good work. Personally, mimi nimejitolea kuwasaidia watu katika hili eneo la Mukuru Watanyayo. Asanteni kwa kutushika mkono.
And I want us to pray, but before we pray, I just want to put a point to you guys. This need is still there, and I was just talking with Anne behind the scenes. She was telling me that quite a number that are still there. So even in your own individual capacity, I closed the fundraiser yesterday and I finished this program here, but it's not ending because the solution is not coming to an end. There are still other things.
Kasema asante, kasema asante, kasema asante, ewe Mungu wangu. Baba, katika jina la Yesu Kristo tunasema ni asante kwa sababu ya wema wako na fadhili zako ambazo hudumu milele na milele. Hakika Bwana, katika hili janga umetuletea watu ambao ni roho safi, ambao wamesaidia Baba hawa watu wetu ambao kuanzia hii dakika wanaenda kulipa nyumba na kupata hata kupumzika katika nyumba zao. Uinuliwe na uimidiwe. Kwa wale wote waliochanga, Bwana wa majeshi, tutamka neno la baraka ukawabariki maradufu katika jina la Yesu Kristo mwana wa Mungu. Ni kwa ajili ya Kelvin, kwa ajili ya Brian na timu yao yote Baba, ukapate na kuwabariki. Asante Baba, ni kwa ajili ya hii timu wanapotoka hapa na kuanza maisha mapya katika maeneo mapya. Mungu utaweza kuwalinda na kuwaongoza. Asante ni kwa ajili yangu Baba, ninapoenda kufanya hii kazi nzuri katika hii community, neema yako ikanitoshe. Tunakushukuru kwa ajili ya mwalimu Simon, amekuwa ni baraka kwa wenyeji wa mtaa Bwana wa majeshi, naye ukambariki katika kiwango kingine, ukafungua milango ya baraka kwa ajili yake. Tunapoachana ukatulinde, inuliwe mfalme, na ni katika jina la Yesu tunaomba na kuamini. Amen.